by KB Poetry. Hi. Well, welcome to Poetry Sport by BT on this Thursday evening with me, Mike. So we have a curated list followed by some DMs to read, and just to let you know, I've set up a YouTube channel as well, which once I get the required number of subscriptions, so I can go live and obviously pull people in. We can interview their poetry and review some books. But on with tonight, now our first poem is from a photo prompt by Art by Aliescu, but the actual poem is by Clodagh Poetry. So if I pop that in the comments here, so the poem is by Clodagh Poetry, and it is from a watercolour called A Place of Serenity and Grace. I will pop it up and show you what we've got here. So if we can get that, so that was actually the photo prompt, or the picture prompt of the watercolour. So it's called A Place of Serenity and Grace by Clodagh Poetry. The ocean is her place of solace, the call of seagulls, the warmth of the sun upon her face, takes her to a place of serenity and grace, and all her worries wash away with every sound of ocean waves. And that is Clodagh Poetry. So always, she writes beautifully, and always one to go and see, go and see, follow, obviously. So that was from a photo prompt by Art by Aliescu. So our next curated poem is by Sharon, and that's Insomnia_poetry. And yes, it was soothing. It's very, very gentle. As when we look at the sea, often it is. Especially as well, I think sunrise and sunset are some of the two most beautiful things over the sea. When you watch the sun actually kissing the sea, or actually breaking free from the sea. So this is I think this is a little naughty one by Sharon, Insomnia_poetry. I'm begging you to find the key, to unlock these rhymes that imprison me. Please do feed my starving mind. Why do you persist in being unkind? The drip, drip, drip of water, such a cruel form of torture. Though you deny me but a sip, with evil threats to flog and whip. Administration of electrical shock does nothing for this writer's block. Respectfully, I beg you to stop. This punishment is over the top. Signed, the tortured poet, kind regards. Sincerely yours, the tragic bard. So, that's Sharon in her slightly naughty mode. Hi, Condor. So, as always, she writes. It can be very amusing, very witty. And our next poem on this score is a collaboration between Grandpa_Calm and Pass I Am Enough. That's called Beauty and the Beast. So Beauty. I lived a satisfied life. Hi Tommy. I lived a satisfied life in a comfortable home with a family to love. I never had any troubles or worries. Happiness written in all my stories. A peaceful life was what I craved. From any conflicts away I stayed. My family witnessed a heinous murder. They were chased and forced to surrender. Nowhere to be found, they just disappear. And Beast. I walked the streets all alone to seek justice for their innocence. I became ferocious and very brave to send the culprits to their grave. Beast I became, unwilling to calm down once again. I couldn't sleep until I got revenge. My comfortable life was fully disturbed. Like a wounded wolf I prowled, hunted down my prey and triumphantly howled. So we have a good mixture there, that's for sure, with both Beauty and the Beast, a poetry collaboration by Grandpa_Calm and Pass I'm Enough. Hi everyone joining us here at Poetry Book BT on this Thursday evening. And this poem is by My Life in Poetry. And in the caption, they say, evicted. Have you ever felt like a slave to your emotions, unable to control them? How about destructive ones that cage you from living your life you deserve? Been there, done that. I say it's time to evict those feelings of guilt or shame or fear or insecurity that are keeping you caged. Let's tell them they don't live here anymore. It's time to get living. Hi everyone joining us here, Poetry Book by BT. We have a curated list followed by DMs. So if anyone wants to send a DM, please do to Mike J Dennis 5. So this is Evicted. I'm sorry you don't live here anymore. Once, taking immense residence, pulsing through pulmonary veins, excavating a bloody gully, sullying my name, creating a moat around my frame, barring love from entering. You chained me, a slave, hammering your claim on my soul until one day I peeled back the borders of my skin, clean off, molting my skin. Took a wrecking ball to crumbling walls, cracked through the cage within, beginning to thrive again in your absence. So I evicted you, nailing a notice of shame on the doorway. Heart not for rent, go away. I guess I'm really not that sorry. And no, you shouldn't be, that's right. I think those sort of insecurities or people that involve them as well are destructive, and you don't need them in your life, that's for sure. So that's my life in poetry. So we have Roberta's Forever Poems _ and I can't see a title, and it goes like this. Longing to be heard, set into motion poetic kisses, adds fuel to fire with each tender kiss, melts our frozen desires filled with coveted passion. Silently the forest whispers melodious tunes, embers of love, imprinted deep within our soul. So that was Roberta's Forever Poems. A little lovely piece. That's right, for sure. So our next poem on our created list is by nm.moraes_poetry. Again, I can't see a title, and again it's only a fairly short piece. So love carried within it a strength that exceeds our expectations. This energy is rooted in your essence. When we surrender to love, sometimes we try to control it, perhaps softening it briefly. But love is like the sun, which rises brilliantly again and again. It can do, yeah, very much so. And unfortunately, like the sun, it can set pretty swiftly. And we move on to Dull Null. It's called Cracking. Nothing else in the caption, so this is Cracking. The seeds of my ambition, such monstrous noise deflates my legs into bubbles that sneeze a spore and shove it back inside me. A month of this birth of repeats, spreading failure and whispers of warmth in cobwebs that scale and bind. This plasma to my chest with an ache, and a chew, and some holy man that whispers and spells 2 trees from my stumps, and binds me to plasma with a will of a lioned lung and flaring eyes, reaching up into entropy. And the atmosphere cracks my neck and bends my spine and cuts the universe with a thump and a wheeze. And a month of this birth for repeats. Some interesting playing of words. With the seed of my ambition, such monstrous noise deflates my legs into bubbles that sneeze a spore. And shove it back inside me, a month of this birth for repeats, spreading failure and whispers of warmth in cobwebs that scale and bind this plasma to my chest with an ache. And a chew, and some holy man that whispers the spells 2 trees from my stumps, and binds me to plasma with a will of iron lungs and flaring eyes, reaching up into entropy. And the atmosphere cracks my neck and bends my spine and cuts the universe with a thump and a wheeze, and a month of this birth for repeats. And I think, yes, I don't know, life can be crushingly repetitive at times. So anyway, welcome here on this Thursday evening with Poetry by BT and me, Mike. And we have a short piece from Huntress Writes, and I think the caption is When I Meet Liberation, and yeah, that's the title is When I Meet Liberation. So when I meet liberation, she spits open sky. I think, God, she's got brilliant guts. She spills milk and honey molecules over an atmosphere choked in 500,000 years of longing. My pupils wrap moons, they're wet and wide as saucers. What laughter burst from between the busted stitches across my mouth. I show her all my teeth. I'm so elated, I don't even realise I'm naked. I think when you meet that liberation, I think, yeah, you do. If you don't bear anything, you bear your soul. And the rest follows. I think I did, friend. I think I did. Hi, Emma. So this is Poetry by BT, and we're reading our curated pieces following by DMs. If you do have a DM, do DM me at MikeJDennis5, and yeah, I'll be happy to read you. So our next poem is The Poetic Light, and nothing in the caption but a title, Do Not Say Goodbye. Oh love, as you part ways and leave me behind, I only ask of you, do not say goodbye. Let this love be for eternity destined. Let it not, along with a part of me, die. We have loved one another for so long. Unlike you, it is not easy to move on. As for me, I'd rather dwell in the past. A lifetime long was our love meant to last. Reliving our memories, I'll be content. An illusion enough to keep me going. Thus, for a forever I will pretend, even if it hastens my heart's howling. But I won't shed a tear, nor let out a sigh, so please, my love, do not bid me goodbye. What a beautiful poem of longing. And a tragedy, really, that someone can leave behind and someone else really struggles for that end and doesn't want it to end. But yeah, Beautiful Rite by the Poetic Light. We seem to have quite a few different love type poems this evening, and this one is by Strong Little Sheep. Again, it's fairly short, and is: the ocean is my perfect lover, waves so strong sweeping me off my feet, taking me for the ride of a lifetime, a little dangerous even at times, but other times so tranquil, wrapping around my body, covering every inch with the softest touch, yet strong enough to keep me afloat. No, I think that was called Give Me the Ocean. But yeah, I love it. It is quite lovely. So welcome everyone joining us here at Poetry by BT on this Thursday evening. And we are reading a curated list followed by any DMs. So if you do have a DM, please send it to Mike J. Dennis 5. And our next poem is a collaboration between Aves Condor and The Nature of Ash. And always hope. Thank you. I always hope Ash is doing okay. I really do. Because she's really so very poorly. So this is by Aves Condor and The Nature of Ash, and it's called Sinful Eyes. Swinging pendulistically, world's revolving door, sipping depths into sincerity, byproduct of an evolving war who will not be absolving me from those I've ignored. Time's turning gear, sinking deeper, bones long, something's burning near, horizon drinking cold song, can feel the spinning, churning fear, shepherding beyond clarity, body's beating heart, lisping incapacities, an ever-repeating start. Void swallows, desperate tenacity, shattered into fleeting parts with her unfazed purity. She's a carbonated whore, fingertips that graze infinity, dissolving in all she's a bore. Eyes holding their virginity, the sun came back, shining on. She never knew a sin to see. Burnt reaching hands pine and fall, waiting for the water to grace the lips. Small, past the crack of dawn, should have known to take sooner sips. Overshadowed by the last lunar eclipse. Sunrise, the summoning whole held by human dreams, and a harness, false, misshapen parts beyond control. Stuck in consuming beams of darkness, consumed by light of a thimble, saw entombing gleams of starkness. Crepuscular drawn and visceral, slackened, blackened human soul. Always such cleverly written pieces, and you can go through and you can find so much, and there's so much hidden within the metaphor. But beautifully written and very interesting. The way it works certainly is. Even starting, sort of swinging pendulistically is a way to start a poem, I'm sure. A world's revolving door, sipping depths into sincerity. Great writing. And we move on to Caroline Lasande, and a fairly short poem called Throwing Shade, and it's Family Matters. She bravely marched to the beat of her own drum. They feared her truth and what she might become. She'd bear the burden of their cruel, selfish ways, dreamed of a father that cares for her and stays. She loved too hard, they hardly felt at all. When she fell down, she was left there to crawl. A fabricated villain, she got rid of their name. They continued their lives of remaining the same. It's heartbreaking just how cold-hearted they are. Their distorted views spread unfairly far. They look like some fools while chasing fool's gold. That greed won't diminish even when they get old. She obediently observed, yet could not comprehend their shallow existence as they grin and pretend. Don't you really see people like that? Sadly, it's sad, but I think they forget that they're not living. They're certainly not living with that. But interesting write by Caroline, that's for sure. And the next poem is by underscore unresolved feelings underscore. And in the caption they say, I love him like I love the moon, but he fades away in the flame. I think the moon also disappears in the flame. So it's Abigail, and she starts off, yes I did. Yes I loved him, but from afar. Unrequited love is probably one of the deepest and saddest feelings one can ever experience. It's like I drew him into my world, I write him in my lines. I want to be his girl, but he was never meant to be mine. I see him from afar, he's always in my dreams. That smile on his face takes away my scars. But it hurts when he's playing with my mind. He ignores me like hell, and in his love I trembled and fell. I love him like I love the moon, but he fades away in the flames. We've certainly got a lot of love-inspired poetry, whether it's love or love lost or just that pure longing. But yeah, it's beautiful, and I do believe we've been writing about love lost, love gained, love wanted for thousands of years, and I'm sure we won't stop anytime soon. And that was underscore unresolved feelings underscore. And we move on to Scribbles of the Master. Nothing in the caption. And they say, what happened to the me that I used to be? Depression has kicked my ass for sure, but I can't be blamed for everything. I used to enjoy getting out of bed, going to work and being active. Losses have taken more than just people who are no longer here. I have no desire to go outside or even open the window to hear life pass me by. I catch an upswing attitude in the mere seconds or minutes it's gone. I chase that for another few seconds before I get more thoughts that only want to battle. I do not understand why I cannot help fix me myself for any betterment whatsoever. In my mind and heart I care, but then a minute goes by and I fight myself on it. It's like I keep telling myself that I'm not a good person and I don't deserve to be happy. I have no clue why that demon is on my shoulder, gets so loud out of nowhere. The angel slowly does their job to help me down the path to a better me. He always gets shouted over and pushed aside by the negative stuff I tell myself. Hi Sharon, good to see you. Yeah, really good to see you here. Read one of your naughty poems earlier, and and always good, always fun, and always so very tongue-in-cheek. So this was Scribbles of the Master, and depression, anxiety are scary, and yes, they do. They can make you stay inside. They make you really not want to do anything. You don't want to mix with people, go out, just hide yourself away and maybe just find a safe cocoon where you feel that's where you want to be, So it's Scribbles of the Master. Anyway, welcome everyone here to Poetry Vault by BT on this Thursday from me, Mike. I'm reading a curated list and followed by some DMs. If you have any DMs, do send them to me here at Mike J Dennis 5. And I've also started a YouTube channel, so that is youtube.com/Mike J Dennis 5. So please, I need 50 subscribers just to be able to go live with other people, which would be pretty good. So if you've got a YouTube channel, please look me up, and it'd be good, because that way I can get some reviews for people in, and we can do some interviews and various bits and pieces as well, which would be great. So anyway, we move on to _Diary of Frey _ and what they say in the caption: just a poem. So I think we will read. Some you choose may cease your mental peace, while some may bring harmony and tranquility. It's not your fault how to choose people. You generally choose those who bring comfort to you. Time changes everything with each passing day, and under circumstances, you get to learn about those real faces. But trust me, this world is beautiful still. There are hopes and fair ones who are committed to bringing serenity. Unfortunately, you've got to really clear out some chaff before you find that. Yes, there are beautiful people out there, and there are a lot of beautiful people on here, on Instagram. Genuine people who enjoy your work, enjoy interacting, and you can have honest comment with. So, always good. And that was Diary of Frey. Now we come to our last curated piece, which is works _of_friction, and that's Danny. And this is a piece, and this is the very opposite to the love we've been mainly talking about, which is when we have sad normal breakdowns, and love together and love being together. So this is a different type. My ribs are breaking, but I'm not letting this bird leave her cage. I'd rather hear her mournful croaks than sing joy without me. I'd rather stroke her broken bones than let her wings take flight to freedom. When he's soft without malice in his hands, she feels his fingers in her feathers, and there is no measure to the pleasure. In hedonistic heaven, he takes skin samples and gives her stitches, takes violent miles for loving inches. She perches all the same, too afraid to fly. Hi Kiki, hi everyone joining us here at Poetry Vault by BT. We're coming to the end of our creative list, and then we've got some DMs on this Thursday evening. And this was by Danny, and it's very much different. This is mind-numbingly mind game type of love where it's total control. And if it's one of these situations where if they can't have you, then no one will, and they will destroy you in the process and destroy your mind as well. Hi Minu, hi Daddy Sonnet, hi Leonore. So now we are moving on to DMs. So if you have any DMs, do send them on to me at Mike J Dennis 5. It'd be great. Let's have a look, see what we have. Right, so if I save them into my Thursday file, then make sure that I don't forget them when we pop them up. So I'll put them in there first. Right, we've done that. So let's go back into my file. Right, so our first one is by Taylor Made, and that is Prabhat Garish 90. And it is a poem called Goddess of the Sea. Hi Ian. Beneath buoyant foamy waves, masking rippled and carved caves, where time and tide hold perfectly still, where creatures of the deep hail and trill, the goddess of the sea who lives, where water nymphs and mermaids croon silky Sicilian serenades, a seashore symphony in praise of the goddess who protects and saves the mighty ocean from under the waves. Hi Dee. So that was Goddess of the Sea, and that is absolutely lovely. Yes, oh, why not? I think we celebrate the Goddess of the Sea. So beneath buoyant foamy waves, masking rippled and carved caves, where time and tide hold perfectly still, where creatures of the deep hail and trill, the goddess of the sea who lives, where water nymphs and mermaids croon silky Sicilian serenades, a seashore symphony in praise of the goddess who protects and saves the mighty oceans from under the waves. Yeah, quite beautiful. And we have a poem by Tommy, that's T.M. DeSaro, and it's called Chasing Ravens. It's an interesting twist from ravens chasing you. This may not be the last you hear, what should have been said, tossing endless in my bed, chasing ravens from my head. They love to steal a thought or three, some lint or diamond rings, crystal keys, silver strings, catching dreams with twigs and branches. Paper cuts for bleeding hearts, ink for paper, blood for pain, repeating back another's name. This will be a song of sorts, a pocket full of lies, like copper pennies for my eyes, but not so much a dirge, it's true. On the verge of finding clues to how tomorrow dies, clouds to fill an empty sky, shades of truth we both deny, questioning my antidotes, words of want, notes to self, people placed upon a shelf, sea of mischief, author's quotes, a flock of fools to float my boat. This could be a painful pause, lipstick to retouch, but who's to say where it will lead, what we can take, if so how much? For love depends on many things, like pulling strings or ponytails, or splitting hairs or compromise to breed despise or realise. Comparing now and then, releasing all those secret friends who pay to watch you bleed. Filling all those secret needs like planting seeds between the weeds of wishes, wants and whys, which why the raven flies. The truth we both refuse to see, like blood-red sunsets slowly die inside these holes in history. This may seem a dream as much, a notebook made of gauze. It's all I have to say about what shouldn't have been said to raise the dead or let them rest, a test we fail so easily. Beneath our feet they call so sweet, remember when you had the sun, owned the moon, rewrote the stars. Sad how fast we fall from grace, or fell, it's all the same, when longing for another taste, a waste by any other name. Constant craving in your bed, for time disports the finer lines when chasing ravens from your head. An absolutely amazing write again by Tommy, but then Tommy's another poet who's a joy to read, and there is so much within the rhyming and the pieces. It is absolutely amazing, and I think we could probably, like a lot of poets here, we could spend a lot of time dissecting these poems, but I think it would be like we'd have to do a live, I think, for one particular poem and read 2 or 3 pieces and then work at them. Again, I think it's something we'll do once I get the right quiet YouTube following, and then we can do that. Yeah, definitely is deep. Yeah, always brilliantly inked, and you can read so much. So really, when Bab calls, yeah, you've got problems. So that was Tommy. So we have a poem of Velmont_poetry. So in the caption, they say, sitting under the wide sky watching the sun and moon align, watching them dance in unison, so majestic, so amazing, glancing over at you and I see the same thing, amazing, majestic, and we kissed as if the night struck midnight on a new year. We kissed and kissed. As for the eclipse, we almost missed it. As the moon eclipsed, we kissed, a new beginning founded in a new surrendering, a foundation I wouldn't expect anyone to understand, as the sky from dark to bright, as we are, my love, shining. How beautiful is that, don't you think? Yeah. As the moon eclipsed, we kissed, a new beginning founded in a new surrendering, a foundation I wouldn't expect anyone to understand, as was the sky from dark to bright, as we are, my love, shining. Absolutely beautiful. But we've had some amazing love poetry this evening. Oh yes. As I say, we'll be doing that for as long as we can, I'm sure. So this next piece is by Keith, and that's KB Poetry in Motion, and it's called Monkey Branching. Chain romancing, dancing with the devil, no advancing in the jungle forever. Monkey branching, leaping from tree to tree, the tree never greener, barely blowing in the breeze, no zephyr ever growing from a sniff to a sneeze, indecisive. Deciduous or evergreen, not knowing if it's coming or going, with or without its writer's leaves. So now you can see, just like me, it's also ill at ease, fear of the unknown, being alone. You can't see the wood for the trees. No, that was my pleasure. Thank you. That was such a beautiful piece as well. Lovely. Yeah. And I mean, reading beautiful poetry is always a joy. It's always a joy. So this is Monkey Branching again by Keith. So we run through that again. Then chain romancing, dancing with the devil, no advancing, in the jungle forever. Monkey branching, leaping from tree to tree, the grass never greener, barely blowing in the breeze, no zephyr ever growing from a sniff to a sneeze. Indecisive, deciduous or evergreen, not knowing if it's coming or going with or without its winter leaves. So now you can see, just like me, it's also at ease, fear of the unknown, being alone. You can't see the wood for the trees. So no, that's right. I mean, they've all been sort of love and loss related tonight. We had one really more severe, but generally speaking, it has been just the beauty of love. And I think it's better with love and loss than never loved at all. That's for sure. So I do believe that brings us to the. If I go back. Yes, I think that brings us to the end of our DMs. I might pop one of my own down, I think, as I do seem to these days, if I can bring that up. And my pleasure, Keith. Always a pleasure. Never see enough of you, my friend. So this is a short one by me. It's called Firmament Shore. These seeds are strewn across Firmament Shore, drifting gently in cornered fables, scattered in the minds of each mystery they spore, upon each world's wind propagate. A poet's mind spread wide celestial winds that float away dancing as they go, seeking another home. The occasional minds in time and space stop and think and flow, yet ponder they breathe in the scent of the earth, glorious damp air foretelling rain. The sweetest pages of this life-giving birth take root, that each given fruit may reign. And oft but hard pathways of the mind, wrapped in wonders, germinating grain. Really enjoyable, love this. Love we're getting more people coming in, getting more part to read. Because I've been sort of away from reading for a little bit, but it's good to be back. And thank you for joining me. And hope to see you next week. Take care all. So this will be up on Instagram, but I'll also be popping it onto my YouTube channel as well. Okay, so take care all. Do send poetry to me anytime during the week, and just mark it up for Poetry Walk by BT for the Thursday evening. Very shortly, yes, very, very shortly. There are a couple of anthologies that are out. One of those being Love Is Hurt from Brandy Lane Inks, Brandy Lane and Poetry Inks, and then I've got a couple of my own coming out very, very soon. So it'll be good, all good. Anyway, thanks everyone, thanks Dee, and I'll see you next Thursday. So all take care. Bye for now.